Hello everybody and welcome back to another Game News Roundup. I know there was none the last week or so. I need to take a little bit of a break, but we're back. Not been feeling the best, dealing with some stuff, but you know what? So if I sound a little bit less energy, a little less energy, more lethargic, whatever, not been feeling the best. But here we are. Going to latest VGChartz estimates for the week ending December 3rd, which will be the first week of December. So yeah, we got the Switch in first place, 932,000 units sold worldwide. Apparently I need ROM according to Ness. Yeah, that's definitely what I need. PS5 is in second place, just under 700,000. Series X and S, 591,000, PS4, 5,800, Xbox One, 117. Master Chief's number. Complete, not on purpose, just so happened to get that number. And as always, these are estimates. As more data becomes available, adjustments do happen to make them more accurate. Worldwide, we've got the Switch at 118.2 million, another million barrier mark. Broken words, man. But yeah, it's crossed 118 million. PS5 crossed 28 million, 28.26 million units sold. Series X and S has crossed 20 million units. Estimated sales 20.26 million. And the gap between the PS5 Series X and S through December 3rd is now about 8 million. And breaking down the worldwide figures, in North America, US and Canada, we got 407,000 for the PS5. 380,000 for the Series X and S, 352,000 for the Switch. In Europe, we've got the Switch in first, 270,000, PS5 149,000, 123,000 for the Series X and S. In Japan, well, it's Nintendo land to say the least. Currently, has been for a long time. Switch 152,000 sold, the PS5 28,000 and 1,800. For the Series X and S. I'm going into the... Hold on, you run through this article. This article speaks. Does it speak, Dave? Does it speak? Is that where we're going with? But also, looking at the weekly breakdown article I do on our estimates, we've got comparing generation for generation. So PS5 versus PS4 for the same equivalent week, and Series X and S versus the Xbox One for the same equivalent week, which would be the week ending December 5th, 2015. PS5 compared to the same week for the PS4. In the 2015, they are down, PS5 compared to PS4, down by nearly 95,000 units. Well, the Series X and S is up compared to the Xbox One by nearly 97,000 units. And to compare, we had about 793,000 units sold for the PS4 compared to the 698,000 for the PS5, 494,000 for the Xbox One, and 591,000 for the Series X and S for equivalent weeks. Year-over-year sales, PS5 sales are more than double where they were last year, which if anyone remembers, PS5 didn't really get much of a boost for the holidays because of very severe stock issues. So sales are up by 121%, are up by 383,000 units. And the Series X and S sales are not up by much, but are still up by 229,000 or 63% year over year. And Switch sales are down by 148,000 or 13%. Switch being as old as it is, sales only being down 13% year over year is pretty damn good for its age. So while sales are going down, it's been on the slower side of a decline so far. But we'll see, next year how things go. And then obviously it depends. When is the Switch successor going to come out? Who knows at this point? I always say, I'm going to take a wild guess that March 2024 will be the earliest we'll see a Switch successor. So a year and 4 months or so. But, maybe holiday 2024. Maybe March 2025. That would be, March 2024 is 7 years to March 2025 is 8 years after the release of the Switch. But we'll see. We'll see. Week-on-week sales, all three major consoles are down, which is not a surprise as the previous week was Black Friday, which is almost always the biggest week of the year console sales-wise, and then usually the second biggest week, on a rare occasion it might be bigger, is that week before, the week of Christmas or the week before Christmas, depending on where Christmas lands. Christmas is on a weekend this year, so basically you have a full week of sales before Christmas, so that's probably be either the biggest or the second biggest sales week of the year. Again, it always depends on stock as well. But week-on-week Switch sales down by almost 400,000 units. PS5 sales are down by nearly 356,000 units, and Series X and S down by 493,000 units. And 2022 year-to-date estimates, we've got the Switch at 16.5 million units sold, PS5 11.26 million, and the Series X and S basically a hair under 9 million units sold so far for the year. And this is looking like it'll be the first time since I believe the 360, maybe 2011, that an Xbox console is going to sell over 10 million units in a single year. Might be either 2010 or 2011. I forget the exact year. I'm fairly certain the Xbox One never did sell over 10 million units in a single year. But yeah, that'd be about it for the latest VGChartz estimates for the week ending December 3rd. Take a quick look at the monthly sales comparisons, and this will be until Black Friday week, the week ending November 26th, 27th? Week ending November 26th. Alright, sounds good, Ness. So, which is one we've been doing for years, is the Nintendo Switch versus the PS4, and as I said recently, well, the Switch has said, hello, PS4, and said, goodbye, PS4. On your left, don't say it, you know, that Captain America meme. Hey, what's up, Emerald? So yeah, this is it. This is the final update for the Switch versus the PS4. Worldwide, at least. It is still behind in Europe, but is ahead everywhere else. The Switch has outsold the PS4 worldwide, according to our latest estimates, again, at the end of the final week of November. As you can see here, for a while, those first few years, it was like, all right, one was ahead, the other was ahead, yada yada, went back and forth because the holidays didn't line up. And then Animal Crossing and the pandemic happened, and then the Switch was like, hello, goodbye, and it grew its lead to nearly 20 million units. Currently about 19 million units ahead, enough to surpass lifetime sales of the PS4. Here is also Switch versus PS4. You got PS3 and the PSP. I would have PS1 and PS2 there, but we never did. This is before VGChartz existed, so we didn't do estimates that go in that far back. So if I did anything, it would just be lifetime sales, and the PS1 would be about a hair over 100 million, and the PS2 would currently be off this chart at 158 million or so. But yeah, another comparison, one that always people seem to keep an eye on every month because it's you know how people are. PlayStation 5 versus the Series X and S. Through November 2022, unsurprisingly, the PS5 is still tracking ahead of the Series X and S, and after earlier in the year where the Series X and S caught up a bit or was able to maintain sales almost on par, the gap has been growing in favor of the PS5 and is currently 7.8 million ahead as of November 26th. But the gap is smaller than last generation, as the PS5 is currently 4 million behind the PS4, and the Series X and S is nearly 3 million ahead of the Xbox One. So by the end of this generation, the gap should most definitely be smaller than it was last generation. Just, I would expect the PS5 to still be ahead of the Series X and S by the end of the generation. Just a much smaller gap than previous generation. I don't expect this to be like the 360 and the PS3, where by the end of the generation, they were pretty much tied. They were within a couple million of each other, the PS3 slightly ahead by the end. But, yeah. Another comparison is generation over generation, so the combined sales of the PS5 and the Series X and S versus the combined sales of the PS4 and Xbox One launch aligned. The last generation has regained a bit of a lead. They've been up and down, up and down. This being November, you remember stock for the PS5 is still somewhat limited. Obviously, a lot better than it was last year, but it still sells out. And even the same with the Series X for the most part. Well, the Series S is still readily available. And at the end of November, did see a $50, €50, I think like a somewhat, I forget, whatever it was, the amount of pounds off for like a week there or 2 weeks there. But the gap for the previous generation has grown to 1.2 million. But we'll see how things are in the over the coming months. Again, the last generation, PS4 and Xbox One, tracked ahead of the PS3 and 360 pretty much the entire generation, but it didn't have the legs to keep up by the end. and the PS3 and 360 ended up in the end selling a little bit, like a few million more. So yeah, that is gonna be about it for our estimated stuff. Few more quick things. Sonic Frontiers, the latest Sonic game, Mega Sonic game. I haven't played it. You know, people are saying like it's not perfect, but it's definitely a big step in the right direction for 3D Sonic games. It has sold over 2.5 million units as of December 12th. Well, the game came out November 8th, so in about a month, it sold about 2.5 million units worldwide. Also, yeah, say hi to YouTube, people. Also, I hope you're doing well, Emerald. But yeah, guys, this is on YouTube. Right, I am recording. Yes, I am recording. Let me look at OBS over there. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, as always, and there's no sponsors, there's no nothing. The only money I get on YouTube is ad revenue. But yeah, if you want to support me, be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Was like a little over 300 away, I believe. Feel free to hit the like button, leave a comment. It all helps out the YouTube algorithm. And maybe at some point, one of these videos will go viral-ish. And maybe, you know, viral-ish and get, 10, 20, 30,000 views or something, enough to get me over that 10,000 subscriber mark. But we'll see. It's just this is a relatively newer thing that I'm doing with the Game News Roundup. As I say, I hope everyone enjoys this. I don't go over all the gaming news, so feel free to go to VGChartz.com for all of the gaming news that we do, or mainly I write up. I just, there's a lot of things, and I try to stick to just the bigger things. For a while there, I was doing over more things, and these videos ended up being like 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours even. So, also, yes, hi YouTube, yes. But yeah, also, if you don't watch these live, twitch.tv/TrunksWD, and if you subscribe, you get a Dragon Ball as your sub emote. If you're at 9 months, you get a blue Dragon Ball. If you're 1 month, it's a 1-star Dragon Ball. 2 months is a 2-star Dragon Ball. 6 months is a 6-star Dragon Ball, and I believe when you get to 1 year, it is Super Saiyan hair. And then different colors of Super Saiyan hair. I don't know. Just saying, if anyone wants to come to my Twitch streams, feel free. You're always welcome. Other gaming news. Epic is to pay over $500 million to settle the US FTC charges on Fortnite. The US FTC announced Epic Games will have to pay $520 million to settle charges on Fortnite over luring kids to have huge bills. The FTC says Epic violated the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, and it deployed design tricks known as dark patterns to dupe millions of players into making unintentional purchases. Epic also collected personal information of Fortnite players under the age of, that should be 13, whoopsie daisy, under the age of 13 without notifying their parents or getting consent from a guardian. The FTC stated Epic had enabled real-time voice and text communications for children and teens by default, which resulted in bullying, harassment, as well as sexual harassment. When Epic added a button to turn off voice chat, the FTC said it was hard for users to find. So instead of having voice chat turned off by default, Epic will no longer be able to enable voice and text communications for children and teens unless consent is provided through a privacy setting. FTC, in another complaint, said Epic used a way to trick players of all ages into making unwanted there are a few typos in this. I do apologize. Purchases, which led children to amass unauthorized charges without parental involvement. FTC direct quote, Fortnite's counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing button configuration led players to incur unwanted charges based on press of a single button. For example, players could be charged while attempting to wake the game from sleep mode while the game was in a loading screen, or by pressing an adjacent button while attempting to simply preview an item. The FTC also claims Epic ignored over 1 million user complaints over being wrongfully charged. Epic also allegedly locked accounts of players who disputed unauthorized charges with their credit card companies. This means they were blocked from using any content they'd already purchased. This will no longer be allowed going forward. Epic, in their own statement to the settlement, said, no developer creates a game with the intention of ending up here. Yeah, okay, Epic. The video game industry is a place of fast-moving innovation where player expectations are high and new ideas are paramount. Statutes written decades ago don't specify how gaming ecosystems should operate. The laws have not changed, but their application has evolved and long-standing industry practices are no longer enough. We accepted this agreement because we want Epic to be at the forefront of consumer protection and provide the best experience for our players. Over the past few years, we've been making changes, clearly not enough, to ensure our ecosystem meets the expectations of our players and regulators, which we hope will be a helpful guide for others in our industry. Epic added all game developers should rethink steps they've taken to simplify payment flows in favor of practices that provide the largest amount of clarity to players when they make purchase decisions. Saving payment information by default is a common way to streamline the checkout process, so players do not have to re-enter their payment method every time they make a purchase. We've agreed with the FTC to change this practice, and we now offer an exclusive yes or no choice to save payment information. Pushing a button to complete a purchase is one of the most commonly used and easiest mechanics to complete online purchases. Games should go above and beyond to make sure players even more clearly understand when they're making a purchase with real money or with virtual currencies to prevent accidental purchases. We don't want players to pay for something that they did not intend to. We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, a lot of stuff is, you press the thing to make a purchase, but a lot of places, they do have you press the button to make a purchase, and then there's a pop-up or something that says, are you sure you want to make this purchase? Usually a lot of places have that. At least that I'm aware of, or at least some of the places I use have that anyway. A few more things. There has been a rumor from September that Sony is going to redesign the PS5 so it's more simplified. PS5 that'll have a detachable disc drive instead of being two specifically separate versions. So if you buy the PS5 without a disc drive, you'll be able to purchase the disc drive that does attach to it. This is a rumor. We will see. But this is a rumor from September, and there was a small update from an insider, Tom Henderson. He's heard from 2 people that have test kits for this PS5 hands-on, and they say it works flawlessly. And the rumor was basically saying, it's a disc drive that is detachable. I mean, apparently it looks fine without the disc drive added, and it doesn't look like it's a big hunk added on. We'll see if this is real and how accurate these are. But yeah, we may be seeing this next year. If anything, it might be next fall. And, maybe also redesign the shape of the PS5 so it's not so gigantic. Because PS5 is crazy huge. They have had some die shrinks. Either 1 or 2 die shrinks on the PS5, and I think the heatsink is a little bit smaller. So there is some room to make the PS5. I mean, it's still going to be big, but there is some room to make it a little bit smaller with some of the changes they have made over the last couple years. But yeah, we might have a PS5 detachable disc drive, maybe next fall. A few more things. PlayStation related. Horizon Online game is in development. This is going to a job listing by Guerrilla Games. The online game will feature a new cast of characters and a unique stylized look. Friends will be able to explore the majestic wilds of Horizon together. So an online Horizon game based, Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. The studio is creating a new internal team in Amsterdam and is hiring for people to work on a single-player Horizon game, online Horizon game, and another team to work on an external project, which we don't know what that could be at this point. You should have always been able to upgrade your digital PS5 with an add-on. I'm surprised it took so long. Yeah, it's the same thing with the Xbox Series S. There is currently, I think there's a way to buy a Blu-ray drive you can plug into it. And some people are saying that maybe Microsoft should also release a digital Series X and a Series S with the disc drive built in. But yeah. So yeah, looks like, this is probably early in development. This is probably 2 or 3 years away, but it looks like a Horizon online game is in development. A couple more things. Death Stranding movie is moving forward. In development by Kojima and Hammerstone Studios. So yeah, Kojima Productions and Alex Lebovic's Hammerstone Studios have partnered up to develop and produce a movie based on the video game Death Stranding. According to the report from Deadline, Hammerstone Studios will finance the movie, while Hideo Kojima and Alex will be producers on the film. Kojima Productions US and Alan Ungar will serve as executive producers. Hideo Kojima says, I couldn't be more excited about this new partnership with Hammerstone Studios. This is a pivotal moment for the franchise, and I'm really looking forward to collaborating with them and bringing Death Stranding to the big screen. Wasn't Death Stranding receive mixed? Yeah, I mean, that's most of Kojima's games. They receive mixed reviews. I have not played it myself, so I don't have an opinion on it, really. But if I remember correctly, with any of the Kojima games, they have really long cutscenes and a story that is kind of hard to follow. But yeah, we have a Death Stranding movie is in development, and also another game, God of War TV series has been greenlit by Amazon, so it looks like we'll be getting a God of War TV series coming to Amazon Prime in the future. Wheel of Time's Rafi Judkins. As always, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Will be the showrunner of the adaptation, while Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby will be writing and executive producing. They are known for having worked on Children of Men, Iron Man, and The Expanse. Amazon Studios and Sony Pictures will be producing the God of War TV series along with PlayStation Productions. God of War is a compelling, character-driven franchise that we believe will captivate our global customers as much with its expansive and immersive worlds as its rich storytelling, the head of global television at Amazon Studios, Vernon Sanders, said. We are honored to share in the adventure of exploring the God of War mythology in such a momentous way with Sony Pictures Television, PlayStation Productions, and game developer Santa Monica Studio. Sony Pictures TV president added, we are so proud and excited to be working with our friends at Amazon Studios and our partners at PlayStation Productions to adapt this beautiful and heartbreaking game into a premium live-action series. They're crafting a transportive series that charts a path through the ancient mythology journey of Kratos. So, we will be... Also, description of TV series. When his beloved wife dies, Kratos sets off on a dangerous journey with his estranged son to spread her ashes from the highest peak. The wife's final wish. Kratos soon realizes the journey is an epic quest in disguise, one which will test the bonds between father and son and force Kratos to battle new gods and monsters for the fate of the world. So this will be based off of the new God of War games and not the originals. God of War from 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. Instead of going further back for Kratos' of the previous games. But yeah, God of War TV series has been greenlit. Again, this is probably a couple years away. I mean, the Death Stranding movie, probably a couple years away. So, that's going to be about it for the gaming news round. Well, actually, one other quick thing. Activision Blizzard President and CEO, he is leaving the company. Forgot about to mention this. On March 31st, 2023, when his current contract expires, he's going to join a blockchain company, Yuga Labs, a company which is behind the Bored Ape Yacht Club's NFTs. Yeah, I don't get NFTs are just in my, I could be wrong. Feel free. Maybe my opinion is wrong, but in my mind, NFTs are such a huge scam. Try not to do opinion with stuff when it comes to NFTs. It just feels like a scam. It's like, I own this digital picture that anyone could just right click and save as. Yeah, also, what is going on in chat? I think this is cool for doing it, yeah, or they're paying him a lot of money, which is why he's gonna do it. I don't know why. But that's a thing. Let's take a quick look. Microsoft released a survey suggesting they might do an ad-supported Game Pass tier, but survey is just asking people's opinion, which I'm gonna lean with. That just seems way too... Basically, the $3 ad-supported tier will only include first-party games, and not at day one. It'll be 6 months after a game comes out for $3 a month that you can play their games. I'm like, that's not bad. You have to deal with ads. How often are the ads going to play? They didn't say. Would it just be like a few minutes of ads before you play a game? Or would it be every 30 minutes of playing a game, it's going to pause the game and run a few minutes of ads? I have no idea. Didn't say. This is just a survey. I'm going to lean with probably not this extreme. I thought maybe we might get, like, say, a $5 a month ad-supported Game Pass tier, which only includes first-party games, but also day one. I don't know. Also, John Carmack, best known for being a founder of id Software, has spent 10 years working at Meta, Facebook, on the Oculus Rift. The Meta Quest, is it now? Whatever it's called at this point. I can't keep track. After working at VR for a decade. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster games coming to Switch and PS4 in the spring 2023. Those games are currently, I believe, on iOS, Android, and PC. Let's just take a quick look scrolling through the gaming news that I've written up. Tencent has acquired a 20% stake in Shift Up. 4 more Sega Genesis games are available on Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, the more expensive Switch Online. Dead Space Remake has gone gold, which means the main development of the game is done. Does that mean the game is completely done? And now how game development is nowadays? No. I'm sure the developers are still doing bug fixes, but the main game itself is done and ready to go. Oh, God, how did I forget this one thing? Marvel's Spider-Man 2 officially launches fall 2023 for the PlayStation 5. That is, I guess, would be the big PS5 game for 2023. A new Tomb Raider game in development by Crystal Dynamics will be published by Amazon Games. There is a big 30-minute showcase of Hogwarts Legacy, which I'm not going to show right now, but it is online if anyone wants to check it out. And a lot of smaller gaming news. Cuphead DLC, the delicious last course, which shockingly stands for DLC, right? Has topped 2 billion units sold. Resident Evil Village is going to be a launch title for PlayStation VR 2. So if you already own Resident Evil Village, I believe it is going to be a free update. So if you get PlayStation VR 2, be able to play Resident Evil Village in VR. Let's see. Quick. And there's always something with Activision Blizzard. Yeah, I'm just like sick and tired of, like, they always get good views, but I am really sick of hearing about this damn acquisition. Just approve it, or just don't prove it. Fine, just more like there's been something constantly every week going on with it. I say nothing this week, but it's Monday. But I think that's going to about do it. So again, if you've enjoyed this Game News Roundup, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and all that stuff. Again, if you want to check any of the game news stuff out, VGChartz.com. I try to wrap at least all the major gaming news and at least some of the smaller gaming news. A lot of stuff like release dates on indie titles and whatnot. So, hope you all enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next Game News Roundup. Oh, and if I don't do one until after the holidays, hope everyone has a great holidays if you celebrate, or if you just take some time off from work or from school or whatever. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye, YouTube.